Hello, good morning, and welcome to Business Around Town on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Today is Monday, 24th July 2023, and I'm glad to be here with you this beautiful morning. I hope you're doing well. This morning, and we are here to talk business despite what we are passing through in this country. We have to, in fact, it is now that we should talk about business more than ever before, because we need to make more money. Everyone needs to make more money due to the high cost of living in Nigeria. Energy costs pushing every other thing up. Talking about exchange rate, it's also on the increase, and also inflation is biting hard. So there is no better time for us to do this than now. Welcome to today's edition. My name is Ali Udoma, and just like we used to do, we first start to take some business headlines in the first segment. Then when we come back on the other segment, we talk about how you can make more money. What are the cultures you need to imbibe? What are the things you need to do? What are the things you need to undo to make more money in your business? Or if you want to start a business, what are the hacks that you need to know in order to navigate your way through the world of business? Stay with me, and I'm going to give you all of this in not just distant time. Alright, welcome back. In case you just joined, this is Business Around Town on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. Let's start with this particular headline that says dollar now 876 naira as forex shortage worsens. The naira maintained its downward trend against the dollar as it traded for 876 naira to dollar at the parallel market on Sunday. Some Bureau de change operators who spoke to the Punch said the local currency had earlier exchanged to the dollar at 820 a week earlier. Since the unification of the exchange rates in the country by the Central Bank of Nigeria in recent weeks, the naira had continued to slide to the dollar due to liquidity crunch, speculations, and other challenges. Speaking with Punch correspondent, BDC operator in Lagos, Alhaji Sani Abdul, stated naira is currently bought and sold at 850 naira to the dollar and 876 naira to the dollar. The exchange rate has not been stable for some time now. Another BDC operator, Ali Ibrahim, said things are getting more expensive. As of Friday, we were buying and selling the naira at 850 to dollar and 865. That is, they buy at 850 and they sell at 865 naira. And the Chief Executive Officer, Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Muda Yusuf, said the foreign exchange market was evidently under pressure as a result of a number of factors. He said there was a curious surge in monetary expansion in the last month. Yusuf said money supply grew by an unprecedented 15% in 1 month between May and June 2023. Broad money grew by over 9 trillion naira, from 55.7 trillion naira to 64.9 trillion naira. This surge in monetary growth is unprecedented. Obviously, this must have had an effect on the exchange rate. He said the monetary authorities should investigate this drastic growth in money supply and take steps to curb subsequent expansion. Such dramatic growth in money supply poses a significant risk to macroeconomic stability, especially price stability. Over the past few years, he said there had been a cumulative backlog of unmet foreign exchange demand, running into billions of dollars as a result of acute illiquidity in the foreign exchange markets. With a more liberalized forex market, he said the pressure of the backlog of unmet demands and other maturing foreign forex-related obligations had been unleashed on the investors and exporters window. However, at the investor and exporter forex window, naira appreciated by 3.24% against the dollar in the previous week. According to the data from the official trading platform of FMDQ Securities, there was a slight appreciation of the naira by 3.24 basis percent, bringing its value to 777 naira to 82 kobo to the dollar. It ended the previous week at 803 naira 90 kobo to the dollar. As of Friday, the naira traded at an intraday high of 855 to the dollar and as low as 665 to the dollar, with a total turnover of $77.99 million. All right, so we've heard that about the naira. That is the reality. That is what we're passing through currently when it comes to the issue of naira, how it exchanged to the dollar. All right, let's move to another news that has to do with business. Economists forecast lending rate hike ahead of MPC meeting. Financial experts have predicted a rise in the lending rate in the country ahead of the two-day Monetary Policy Committee meeting starting today, Monday. The monetary policy rate was raised to 18.5% at the last MPC meeting. An economic expert and former assistant head of research at the CBN, Jonathan Aremu, said that given the current economic indices, there was a high likelihood of a hike in MPR. He said it is not an arbitrary movement. As much as possible, they need to equate it with how much they can manage the monetary flow. If there is so much money in the economy as it is now, prices will rise, and if prices rise, you have to raise it. Also, the chief executive officer of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, Muda Yusuf, said the Apex Bank would increase the MPR in order to contain the rising inflation and recent spike in the money supply in the economy. Yusuf said they will increase it, especially with inflation pressure on the exchange rate and the surge in liquidity. We saw an increase of 9 trillion naira in money supply, which is unprecedented. Something must be done to curb that growth of the growth of liquidity. Also, lead analyst for Nigeria at Scope Ratings, Thomas Gillett, said we expect Nigeria's monetary policy rate to be raised by 100 basis points to 19.5% as reforms recently introduced will exacerbate near-term inflation that is already running close to record high. This is the reality again of what we're passing through. And don't forget, this time around will be the first MPC meeting that is going to take place, talking about Monetary Policy Committee meeting that is going to take place after the suspension of CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. So let's see how it's going to be. Shonobi will be the one to chair this meeting, and hopefully we will hear something that is going to have a positive impact to the economy. Also, we have this from the newsstand. FAN postpones implementation of new Abuja Airport toll. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has shifted the date to effect the new toll fare at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport from July 17 to August 1st, 2023. The Punch length that is talking about what the money that drivers are going to pay while entering the airport is what we're talking about here. According to a statement by the management of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria on Sunday in Abuja, the postponement was to allow airport users to enjoy more of the current charges. The statement noted that the fare for cars will change from 200 naira to 300 naira, while buses and sport utility vehicles will change from 300 naira to 500 naira. It added the fare for trucks, that is 6 tires truck now, will change from 500 naira to 1000 naira, while trailers and containers tariff will be 2000 naira. And the management urged the public to take note of the changes in the effective date and tariff. It also appealed to all airport users that own vehicles to use the dedicated park and pay for car parks that have been provided for the comfort of airport users, noting that drop-off zones, rules and regulation guiding movement should be respected to create free traffic flow to enhance a calm and serene environment around the airport. The statement partly read, commercial drivers are to use the drop-off zone to drop their passengers but not to engage in pick-up of passengers, as the airport already has registered car hire services, that is Fan Taxi, the other company situated along the airport exit way. This is an exclusive parking lot for heads of MDs of private companies and highly recognized individuals for their comfort as frequent flyers and their status in society. VIP parking stickers are also available for those who want to enjoy VIP parking privileges. So this is also explicit, straightforward, straight to the point. That is coming from the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, telling us that there is going to be an increase in how much drivers pay while entering the airport, and it depends on the kind of vehicle you drive. I could recall a couple of weeks ago this information came out, but now they are coming to reiterate the fact, but there's going to be an adjustment that the increase is not going to take immediate effect. It's going to come into play on the 1st of August. That is a few days away from now. That is when it's going to take effect. So we should be aware. If you are driving excuse me, if you are driving a normal vehicle, which they said that's cars, which used to pay 200 naira, you're not going to pay 300 naira now, while buses and sport utility vehicles will change from 300 to 500. Trucks, that is from 6 tires, would be charged 1000 naira instead of 500 naira, which used to be the case. And also trailers, containers will be charged 2000 naira. So if you go to the airport and you have been asked to pay more than what is contained here, from now before the commencement date, you should not. You have to continue paying what you used to pay in. But from August 1st, you go there and they tell you you have to pay more than what you are used to paying, then you know that that is the reality, and it's okay for us to feed you with that information. Let's move to building materials. Operators lament building material price hike. Operators in the real estate sector have said the hike in prices of cement and other building materials may trigger a drop in building standard of houses. Industry chiefs in separate interviews with Punch correspondents noted that the recent price hike of building materials would increase cost of production, reduce the company's profit, and affect the viability of the sector's value chain. The managing director, and chief executive officer at Fame Oyster & Co. Nigeria, Femi Oyedele, told the Punch that the surge in the prices of building materials might force project owners to review contract conditions. He said definitely contractors who have started building projects will be going back to their clients, that is to the project owners, to review the contract terms. The increase in the price of cement will affect the conditions, price and rate of completion of building projects. It will also affect the demand for building products, as the increase in prices of cement will affect prices of houses. Similarly, the chief executive officer of 730 Real Estate Limited, Oluwole Fapohunda, said firms would have to factor in the increase to arrive at their cost of production, which in turn would affect the sales price. Oluwole emphasized the crucial role of cement in the construction industry, highlighting that builders might have to compromise on the quality of materials if home buyers are unwilling to pay higher prices for houses. One of the things we have to understand now is that to have quality, customers have to be ready to pay for more. But if buyers are not ready to pay more, it means that the developer may be forced to reduce the quantity used during construction, which will not end well, because there is an adequate ratio of cement that needs to go into the construction. Another implication is that developers that cannot stand their ground on quality may be forced to lower the standard, which may eventually result in more building collapse. He further urged the government to intervene to avoid investment going down the drain. The government has to look into these issues and make sure they find a way to bring the costs down. Do not forget that as the prices of cement are going up, the prices of iron rod, transportation, and the rest are also going up. On his part, the managing partner, Ubosi Ele & Co. Chudi Ubosi, cautioned that the price hike was likely to shrink the company's profit. He added, changes in the prices of building materials, including cement, will indeed impact ongoing projects many times. A developer or company will bear the cost of these surges, limiting profits. While anticipating an increase in rent and the prices of property, he asserted that they would not happen immediately. The Chief Executive Officer of Samak Properties and Development Company lamented. The Chief Executive Officer of Samak Properties and Development Company Limited, Sam Akombi, said implications of the increase in the rising cost of cement are enormous. Aside from the economic implications, which will lead to the high cost of construction, decrease in housing supply, loss of jobs in the building industry, delay in project delivery, and increase in the number of abandoned projects, it will also lead to compromise in the standard of materials being used. Therefore, building collapse is inevitable. The implication is huge. Mr. President needs to put on his thinking cap. To resolve this, CEO Femi Oyedele charged developers to seek alternative means to reduce the usage of cement. He suggested that builders should consider the option of gum for tiling, plaster of Paris for rendering, and bricks and stones to replace blocks. We need to adopt gum for our tiling, plaster of Paris for rendering, and bricks and stones to replace blocks. We can also use plaster board and timber for our partitioning to reduce our dependence on cement for building projects, he noted. Market research conducted by Punch correspondent showed that 50 kg bag of cement product was being sold at price ranging from 4,800 naira to 6,000 naira in cities like Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, and Abuja. In certain locations, it can even be found as low as 4,700 naira to 4,850 naira. Although no official statement has been issued to confirm the increase, retailers had blamed the latest rise in prices on the significant surge in logistics and haulage costs due to fuel subsidy removal. All right, that is it about the issue of cement. And one thing that I would also like to implore the government authorities is to monitor the construction side, because if at all the prices are going up, and just like they echoed on this news, that if the prices continue going up and the owners or the buyers or the clients are not willing to also up the price they paid for in the initial stage, then the builders would now compromise the standard of the building, and in turn it will lead to building collapse. We are already battling with building collapse in this country. A lot of times you hear the building collapsing here and there. The ones that are even reported, some are even not reported, while some underreported, but we have a very huge cases of such. What will happen if at all we also allow these people to go ahead and continue using lesser cement that will lead, or using smaller inches of rod for construction? So we cannot compromise on standard. That is why the regulatory agencies would have to step up their game, also sensitize these people. They should understand you might get lesser profit, but don't compromise on the quality. You already have an approved standard that you have to comply with, you have to follow. So why not continue? So that's exactly what we're trying to encourage here on this particular news. Please and please, if you want to do any project that has to do with all of these materials, consider the cost now. Do a standard work. Don't go cutting corners and put lives of people in danger, and at the end of the day your investment is going to go down the drain because it's going to collapse. So don't compromise on standard. You can do any other thing, but you don't compromise on standard. Having said that, that is how far we can go on time in terms of the business news. We will go on a commercial break, and when we come back we will switch to the other side of the divide, where we will give you some very key information that you need to know. Do you know that over 41 to 57% of businesses, small businesses, don't get to survive year 1 to year 5? Yes, that is what is happening. If you want to know why small businesses easily collapse and how to sustain your small business or take it to the next level, stay with me and don't change your dial. I'm gonna give you the hack